My sister is on the run from the police after I caught her and her homeless boyfriend stealing from me. I, 34 female single mother of 3 girls, 13, 8, 2, let my sister 31 female move in with me 2 months ago and she stole from me. I am shaking as I type this up. Let call my sister Sarah. Sarah lost her job about 4 months, got kicked out of her apartment about 2 months ago and didn't have anywhere to go. Being her big sister, I offered her a place to stay while she figured things out. Being a single mother with no one to turn to, sometimes I felt sorry for her, so I figured I could help her out in this rough patch. I even started helping with daycare fees for her son, who's 3, because I know how tough it can be to make ends meet. Things started out okay, but I started noticing small red flags. First, Sarah's boyfriend, who I'd only met 3 times, began coming over almost every day while I was at work. I didn't love it, but I thought they both needed support, so I let it slide. I did let Sarah know that I didn't want him coming to my house every day, and he stopped coming for a while. Then one day he just pops back up. It wasn't long before I noticed other strange things happening. At first I thought I was tripping, like little stuff would be moved in my bedroom or my bathroom would have stuff missing. At first I thought it was my daughters, but the stuff that was touched or missing they either don't use or have their own. So without telling anyone, I put a camera in my room. I saw Sarah going into my room when I was at work. I confronted her and told her, without letting her know about the camera in my room. I told her I knew she was going in my room, and if she does it again she was out. She half-assed apologized and we moved on. Well, yesterday when I get home, I noticed my closet door slightly opened. I knew something was off because I never leave my closet door open. As I was looking through my closet, I noticed one of my handbags was missing. I had been saving up about $2,500 for Christmas gifts for my kids in the handbag. It wasn't in an obvious spot either. You would literally have to dig under about 7 other handbags to get to that one. My heart was in my ass because 1, my money is missing, and 2, that is the money for my kids' Christmas, and 3, my sister was nowhere to be found. I knew right then and there Sarah took it. I immediately called Sarah, but she wouldn't answer. I checked security cameras in my room and saw Sarah thieving ass in my room going through my closet. About 5 minutes later, her boyfriend, let's call him Ryan, came in my room too. They had to have picked the lock because I made sure my room was locked before I went to work this morning. They spent 45 minutes in my room going through all my stuff trying to put it back like it was. I was devastated. I let her move in with my rent-free and bill-free, and the is how she repays me? About 2 hours after I got home, Sarah and Ryan shows back up. I confronted her immediately. At first she flat out lied and denied it, claiming I was mistaken or that I had misplaced the money. But I didn't back down. I told her I had the entire thing on camera, everything, including her and her boyfriend going through my things. She was caught red-handed. I told her she had until the end of the day to return the money, or I'd be pressing charges. She started freaking out, saying I was being unreasonable. I really wanted to put my hands on her, but I have too much to lose. She even tried to drag our dad and her mom into the situation, calling them to intervene on her behalf. But I wasn't having it. I told them both to stay out of it, that I was handling it my way, and they had no right to defend her when she was clearly in the wrong. And if they want to defend her, they can give me the $2,500 back. That shut them right on up. I also told they didn't have the right to say anything to me about this because they were willing to tell her and their grandchild sleep outside because they are not ready to have a toddler around them right now. By 8 p.m., she still hadn't given me the money back, and I had no choice but to call the police. I filed a report and gave them the footage. By the time the police got there, Sarah and her Ryan had jumped in his car and left. They're both on the run now, and no one knows where they are. I'm sure she's trying to hide, but I have no idea if they'll even come back or if I'll get my money back. I'm still in shock. I've always tried to help her, and this is how she repays me. I can never trust her again, and right now I don't even know if I want her in my life anymore. It's one thing to make mistakes, but to steal from family when I've been helping you? It feels like a betrayal on a whole new level. So here I am, dealing with the aftermath, and I'm wondering, should I have handled this differently? I really wanted to hurt her, and the only reason I didn't was because of my daughters. Even though they are not with me, I still don't want to mess up their and my future. I got a call from one of my cousins, and she was telling me that she was on my side. But she also told me that my dad and his wife called her mom trying to talk junk about me, and my auntie shut it down. She apparently told my dad that him and his wife created the misery my sister is because they never said no and gave her any and everything she wanted. I love my aunt for sticking up for me. I'm just trying to process everything, and honestly, I'm struggling to figure out what comes next. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for calling the police on my sister? Update 45 minutes later. Hey everyone. First off, I would like to thank everyone for the kind words and support. It really means a lot to me. So again, thank you. To the people saying it is my fault, you can go to hell. That just shows me that you will steal from anyone at any time if given the opportunity. So for the update, bear with me. I worked my overnight last night and barely got any rest today because of this situation. So when I got off work this morning, I really didn't feel like going upstairs to my room, so I laid on the couch. Around 10:30, I heard someone at my front door. When I opened the door, it was my sister looking stupid. When I realized who it was, I punched her right in the face. She tried to run, but I grabbed her and pulled her inside of my house. She was alone. I asked her where was my nephew, and she tells me that he is with her childhood best friend. I will call her Alex. I didn't believe her, so I made her call Alex so I could see, and he was. Thank God he is with Alex because Alex is an angel. I asked my sister where my money was and she said gone. I said I know that, but where did it go? This idiot looked me in my eyes and told me that she and Ryan spend the money DoorDash going out to eat, and Mary Jane. I just stood there and looked at her. She didn't say anything, and I know she thought I was going to punch her again because every time I moved she would flinch. After what felt like hours of me staring at her, I called her a dumb bitch. I told her she needed to explain herself. What pisses me off is she wasn't even looking for the money. She was looking for my handgun. She told me that Ryan had convinced her to go to her old job and get revenge for firing her. I told her she was a dummy for going along with that play. I then asked her why did she get fired because she told us her job had to lay off people due to the drop in business. It is a small business and a local family-owned grocery store. Well, come to find out, her and 4 other employees decided that they didn't want the 15% employee discount they were getting and the $19.50 they were getting paid. They wanted free merchandise and free money for the registers. My jaw hit the floor. Her old employer told her if she paid back the money she took, he would press charges. I asked her how much she took and it was about $690, but I think it was way more. Ryan didn't like the idea of her getting ripped off and came up with his plan. She knew I had a handgun. She didn't know that I take it with me everywhere I go because I have my concealed carry license. While she is talking to me, I'm recording the whole time. She then tells me the reason she got kicked out was because she told her landlord that if he didn't let Ryan stay with her and not be on the lease, she was going to get a bunch of people to beat him up. The landlord filed a police report and had her evicted 10 days after. But what really pissed me off is she told me the whole time she was on the run she never once checked up on her son. She said Ryan doesn't want him around, so that is why she took him to Alex. At that point I snapped. Everything from her stealing from me to her abandoning her son just came out. I have never yelled and cursed at no one like that before. I really let her have it. She started crying, but I couldn't care less. She tried to talk, but I told her to shut the fuck up because I was done with her poop. I told her she was a piss-poor excuse for a human being and a mother. I told her that she should be ashamed of herself for what she did to me and how she is treating her son. I told her that I was going to help Alex get custody of her son because she didn't deserve him. She tried to talk, but I wasn't done. I also told her that she is going to jail and Ryan is too. She really started crying, but again I couldn't care less. I was yelling so loud I think the neighbors heard me and called the police, which I was going to do anyway. So, thank you to my neighbors. When I opened the door and seen it was the police, they asked me was everybody and everything okay because they could hear me from the street and my neighbors were concerned. I told them no and explained everything that was going on. Sarah was just sitting there like a deer in headlights and trying to play victim. She told the police that I gave her the money. I wanted to jump on her right then and there. I told the police that the previous officers had the footage of her and Ryan going through my stuff. One of the officers ran her name and seen she had a warrant for her arrest and put her in handcuffs. They took Sarah outside and was searching her. The police pulled some money out her pocket and she told them to give it to me. This stupid bitch wanted them to give me $24.76. Yes, I counted it. I told them to keep it because she is going to need it. The police asked her how did she get there, and Sarah said Ryan dropped her off. They asked her where was Ryan, and she said around the corner waiting on her. When one of the officers went to check, the dummy was still there sleeping. So he went to jail also. I called my dad and told him what was going on, and to my surprise he must have had a change of heart. He told me after my aunt read him the riot act he took everything in and realized we were right. He told me that she is going to have to pay for what she did. I also told him about my nephew, but he knew that he was with Alex and glad he was with her. I told him about helping Alex get custody of my nephew, and he told me to do what I had to do. The reason I want Alex to get custody is because she is great with my nephew. She loves him and he loves her. He also is happier when he is with Alex. Even when she would visit Sarah, my nephew wouldn't leave Alex's side. She also, if anything ever happened to my sister, she would take my nephew with no problems. Sarah's mom is pissed at me because I will not drop the charges, and I gave the police the recording of her telling me the plan she really had because it added more charges. I told her if she was good mother and raised Sarah right we would be going through this. She called me a bitch and hung up. I blocked her. She can deal with Sarah and pay for lawyers. I will make sure I'm at every court date for Sarah and Ryan if possible. I don't want neither one of them getting out anytime soon. Well, this is my update so far, and if anything else happens I will let y'all know. Thank y'all again for the support and kind words.